Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today I have an announcement for you guys. For those of you who have been around for a while, you probably know what this is all about. It is at the end of the year, and at the end of the year, we all know that some of us feel a little bit of pressure. We feel that it's, go time and that we have to get our goals achieved. And so what I did a couple of years ago, or I guess 3 years ago now at this point, was I created a readathon called Bucket Listathon to kind of help us achieve those goals. But another component of Bucket Listathon is also to remind us to have fun and that these goals, if we don't achieve them, it's more about the journey than the destination, for those of you who are Stormlight fans. So I think that I've really enjoyed the evolution of this readathon, the checklist that I made the first year, the game board the second year, and you guys will see some changes this year as well. I appreciate and love the community that comes together at the end of the year to participate in this event, to root each other on and to encourage each other. Even if we know the goalpost is farther out than we can achieve, we are still going to have fun along the way and trying to reach those goals. So I'm very excited to announce Bucket Listathon 3.0 this year. Instead of having a checklist like I did the first year, a game board like I did the second year, we actually have 3 different events that you guys can participate in this year to help accomplish your end of year goals. So first and foremost, when is this readathon starting? I have kind of changed up the starting dates the past couple of years to try and figure out what works best. And honestly, it's just kind of a free-for-all. So what I'm going to say this year is that the official dates for the readathon are November 1st through November 30th. But if you guys would like to start on November 1st and go all the way through December 31st, that's absolutely fine. If you guys can't start in November and would prefer to do it in December because that's when you have the most time, that's good for me. It doesn't matter. The Discord will be open throughout all of that time. So feel free to start it whenever you want. I will be there in the Discord to chat with you guys. But the official dates I'm saying this year are from November 1st to November 30th. And then secondly, like I just said, there is a Discord for this readathon. However, you don't have to participate in the Discord if you do not want to. I will have a Google Drive with all of the graphics down below that you guys are welcome to utilize as well. Also down below in the description, while I'm talking about that, there is a sign-up sheet that I would really appreciate you guys filling out just so I know how many people are participating in this event. It's just good stats for me to know. I'm a numbers gal, so please help me out in that. I also will have within the Discord, I'll have all of the graphics, even though they're in the Google Drive. I will have a submission form, even though this is not a competitive readathon. If you guys just want to tell me what books you're getting done, what goals you are achieving, I will give you guys a short little stat video at the end of November, probably the beginning of December actually, to tell you guys what all we accomplished at the end of this year, what things that we were able to do within the community and BookTube. It's always kind of a fun thing for me to be able to tell you guys what you've accomplished as a whole community. Within the Discord, there will also be different channels for each of the events at Bucket Listathon, so you guys can chat with like-minded people who've chosen the same event that you have. One of the events this year also involves some videos that are going to go live on my channel throughout the month, and so there'll be a place for that as well. But in general, the Discord is just going to be a place for us to hang out with other book community people who are really interested in finding a loving community, a place of support to make sure that we achieve our end of year goals. Now that we have the logistics out of the way, let's talk about the most simplistic of the sheets that you guys will have for Bucket Listathon. Not necessarily the most simplistic event, but that is the Scavenger Hunt. So this is the sheet that you guys can print out, and I do have a printer-friendly one as well if you guys are wanting to actually print these out and not use them digitally. But you can see it's very simple. It's just a list of 1 through 15 for you guys to write down the books or the activities that you have done for this Scavenger Hunt. And how this is going to work is I have asked 15 different booktubers to participate and be featured in Bucket Listathon, and those booktubers are going to give me a prompt that has something to do with their channel that they would like you guys to accomplish or do for the readathon. And I'm hoping every 2 days in the month of November, I am going to post a video on my channel of that booktuber's prompt, them telling you a little bit about themselves, and then myself, I'm going to come on and give you guys a recommendation for the prompt. And You guys can treat this however you would like. So if you want to treat this as a recommendation event, there will be a channel in the Discord where you guys can post what you would use for the scavenger hunt reads. You can also treat this kind of like a competitive readathon. If you really like the vibe of getting a prompt and having to scramble to find a book and read it before the next prompt drops, you can absolutely do that in this event. That's completely up to you. And the scavenger hunt sheet will just help you organize what you're doing each of the times a prompt drops. So a different approach to some of the things that we've done in Bucket Listathon in the past. I always want to feature some type of a booktuber call out or booktuber highlights in Bucket Listathon. It's one of my favorite things about the readathon, so this was my way of doing that this year. And the next event, and the one that I will definitely be participating in the month of November, is the Gameboard. I love a good game board. Anytime anyone has a TBR game where they play on a game board, or if they have a readathon and they create a game board, it's always like my go-to option. I don't know why, it's so fun, and I really enjoyed creating my game board last year, so I wanted to create another one this year. You'll notice that it's a little different. It still has no beginning and no end, even though it looks like it does, and I'll explain that as we go through kind of the rules. I do have a hard mode and an easy mode for you guys, but you guys can use this however you would like. So if you don't like the rules that I've created, if you don't want to be bogged down by a hard mode or easy mode, and you just want to use it as a regular game board, go right ahead, make it yours. That's why I created it. I want you guys to have fun with it. But how I expect, or in how I will play the game, is there will be a hard mode and an easy mode. You can choose whichever one you want. If you are going to play on hard mode, you have to visit all 3 edges. So you'll notice within the game board, there are 3 edges. You have series, new releases, and physical TBR. You'll notice that I don't have a life section like I did in last year's readathon. I promise I'm not leaving you guys out. Just bear with me. We have to visit all 3 edges in hard mode without using an off the board move. And this is what I mean. You guys are going to choose an edge to start on, and that edge is going to tell you what your main goal of the readathon is. Do you have a whole bunch of series on your TBR that you have to get done by the end of the year? You're going to start at series. Do you have a ton of physical TBR books that you need to get through because your physical TBR is getting a little out of hand? You're going to choose physical TBR. And if you have a lot of new releases that you haven't gotten to this year and you really want to, that's where you're going to start. So you get to pick one of the 3 to start. And an off the board move, what I mean by that is anytime you are on an edge. So if I am on series, I can choose to, when I roll my die, to roll and go into the game board. Or I can choose to go to any of the other edges. So if I'm on series, I can actually jump off the game board and go to another edge, whether or not it's new release or physical TBR, your choice, and then count your roll from there. So you can jump to the edges, an off the board move. You're going a little bit off the board to get to the next edge and then continuing your roll, if that makes sense. So with hard mode, you have to visit all 3 edges. You have to visit series, you have to visit new releases, you have to visit physical TBR, and you can't use an off the board move to get to the edges. Now, once you've reached all the edges, you're welcome to use off the board moves all you want, but you have to get to them without using an off the board move. The next thing that we have to accomplish hard mode is that every time you land on a repeat color, the book that you picked up for that prompt has to pertain to your starting place. So I myself am going to play on physical TBR mode because I have a lot of physical TBR books that I want to get through before the end of the year. And so if I choose to start there and I happen to land on the bright orange color twice, then on the second time I land on it, on the repeat time that I land on it, I need to make sure that that prompt, the book that I pick up for that, is on my physical TBR. Now it resets every time you do that. So if I had landed on that color a 3rd time, I wouldn't have to make sure that it pertains to physical TBR. But if I land on it a 4th time, I would have to make sure that it pertains to the TBR, the physical TBR. So essentially every even time you land on a color, you have to repeat your starting prompt along with the new prompt that you've landed on. And lastly, this one's kind of hard. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I didn't want to set a number of rolls that you guys had to get through to get to hard mode because I don't know, I kind of just want it to be a free-for-all for you guys. So instead, I've made something that pertains to the colors and to your enjoyment of your books. So the third and final must do if you are going to make it through hard mode is to have one of each color provides you a 4-star or above book. So like I said, there are 6 different colors. So potentially this could be, you could only do 6 rolls and could make this work if all of your books were 4 stars and above, but you have to land on every color and the book that goes with that color has to be a 4-star or above. I think this is really tough, but I think that it's going to be fun to try and do. I want you guys to enjoy the books that you're reading. Obviously, this is all about end of year goals and accomplishing things, making sure that we're having fun as well. And I want you guys to love it. I want you guys to have a good time when you're reading and not have to push yourself through books that you're not enjoying. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So that's how you do hard mode, those 3 different things. So I'll repeat them one more time just in case. So you have to visit all 3 edges without going off the board. You have to, in your repeat colors, if you land on a repeat color, you have to make sure that that prompt also pertains to your starting place. And then lastly, you have to get 1 book of each color that is a 4-star or higher. Good luck to you guys if you choose this. I'm gonna try hard mode. I don't know if I'll accomplish it, but I'm gonna try. For easy mode, if you guys are just looking to kind of chill out, the first option or the first mission that you guys have to accomplish is you have to visit all 3 edges, but you can use 1 off the board move. So I think that makes it a little bit easier. That essentially means that you just have to go from one of the edges to another, and then you can automatically move to the next edge and be done with visiting all 3 edges. So I don't think that's too bad. And then for the colors repeating, if a color repeats 3 times, then you have to have that prompt pertain to your starting place or add a roll. And I think I said that in the hard mode as well. If you don't want it to pertain to the starting place, you can add a roll and that's just how it's gonna be. So that's up to you, but those are the first 2 rules for easy mode. The last rule for easy mode is that 4 of the 6 colors have to provide you with a 4-star or higher. So instead of you have to get 1 of every color that provides you a book that you really enjoy, 4 of the 6 have to be books that you really enjoy. On to the prompts for this year, and I will start by the little stack of books prompt. One of the things that you need to do if you are going to play the game board is at the start, before you do your first roll, you need to make a list of 15 must-read books. And I am using the number 15, so you guys can actually use the Scavenger Hunt graphic. I might make a different graphic that just says must-read list, but it's gonna look exactly the same. It's just gonna say must-reads on it instead. You're gonna make a list of 15 books that you absolutely have to read by the end of the year, and you're gonna use a random number generator to pick a book for you if you land on a book stack. So that's what those little book stacks represent, and that you should do before you start your rolls. That way you're not scrambling if you do land on a book stack to have 15 books in mind that you can use your random number generator for. As far as the rest of the prompts go, I will have a graphic that explains all of them down below if you don't want to listen to me go through them, but I'll just go through them really quick here on the video as well. We have a 5-star, which is a 5-star prediction or a 5-star reread. You guys get to choose. You have booktuber pick. This is a book that was recommended by a favorite booktuber of yours. You can also ask in the Discord. We will have other booktubers in the Discord, or you can ask me specifically and I will provide you with a recommendation. Connections is a new prompt this year, and that is a book that is connected to your previous read. This could be the color of the cover. This could be the genre. This could be the tense of the book. You guys choose what the connection is. It could also be maybe if you had booktuber pick as your previous one, it could be a book that was recommended by the same booktuber. Be creative as far as the type of connection that you're making, but that's what that prompt stands for. You have chonky read, which is a book over 500 pages. Now that is my definition of chonky. If you think a larger book is 400 pages or above, you guys, I'm not gonna police this, so utilize logic. It doesn't matter to me. You guys pick what works for you. A debut author, this is their first published work, and it can be their first published work in a specific genre if you guys would like to go that route. A different perspective, so the MC is different from you in some way. You have the Discord poll. There will be a channel where you guys can post polls and have the community select a book for you. End of year goal. This can be a book that you have to read before the end of the year, but it can also be non-book related. You guys can make this what you want. And so if you have an end of year goal in your personal life that you wanted to accomplish, you could do that for this as well. End of year list. This is going to come off of the list of 15 that you make, but it's one that you get to pick. You don't have to use a random number generator to pick it. You have your favorite author, so a book by an author that you've loved. Finish a series, you're reading the last book in a series. Hidden Gem is a book that has less than 1,000 ratings and not published this year. So not published in the year of 2025. I think this one might be a little bit difficult for you guys. And as far as the number of ratings go, you can go off of Goodreads or you can go off of Storygraph, whatever platform you guys use, that's perfectly fine. Hot Off the Press is a new release or a book that has a lot of buzz. Libby Chicken, you guys don't have to participate or have the Libby app to do Libby Chicken. This is just a book that you have a deadline for. So it could be a deadline for a book club. You could have borrowed a book from a friend and they need it by the end of the month. Any book that you have a deadline for counts for Libby Chicken. You have the Scavenger Hunt. This is, you have to follow the most recent Scavenger Hunt prompt. So whenever I pop up the Scavenger Hunt video, whichever one is the most current one, that's the prompt that you have to complete. Short read, less than 300 pages. Once again, use your interpretation if you think a short read is under 100 pages, whatever. Do whatever you guys want. Stunning cover, a cover that you love. A TBR veteran, this is a book that has been on your TBR for more than a year. And that could be physical TBR or digital TBR, whatever you want to use. And then your pick is a mood read. I wish you guys luck if you choose the Gameboard because I think I made both hard mode and easy mode harder this year, but I think it's going to be a fun time and I'll be there with you guys. So we can struggle through together and just enjoy the chaos. The last event that I have for you guys in Bucket Listathon that you can participate in is for those of you who chose the life route last year. If you weren't here in Bucket Listathon 2.0, the life route was part of the game board. You could select a corner of the game board that just focused on life events. So not necessarily that you have to read a book with every prompt. Sometimes it was just visiting a friend and getting a treat for yourself. There were things like self-care things that I wanted you guys to focus on because sometimes the end of the year is super busy and we don't have time to do anything other than just survive. So I created an event this year called Fill Your Bucket. And I did this, I don't remember when or how it got brought up, but we were talking about the game of Tetris. And I really enjoy Tetris. I like watching other people play Tetris. It's mesmerizing to me. I think that it's fun. And so this game is based on Tetris. You have a bucket that is your life that you are trying to fill up with all of the tasks that you need to do and to take care of yourself. So we have a whole bunch of very general tasks that you guys can use for whatever you would like. Community task, this could be your home community. So you could go maybe and volunteer somewhere, you could help a neighbor out, those community events creating the community around you. This could also be in the booktube community. So this could be watching booktubers videos, commenting, finding your favorite Instagrammer and sending them a nice little message. Those are all community aspects. I should also say that the shapes for Tetris in this, you can rotate however you would like. I'm not gonna designate that. Next, you have move your body. And so this is moving your body in any way. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride, get out in the sun and, go to the park. Just move your body in some way. To-dos is your to-do list for the end of the year, but this could also just be household chores, doing the dishes, laundry, vacuuming, whatever you need to do. Anything that's on your to-do list will be a to-do. Good for the soul. This is something that nourishes you. This is gonna be different for everybody. This could be going out with a friend. Maybe you need to recharge your battery by going out and interacting with people. Maybe you're more of a person who likes to cuddle up on the couch and have a cup of tea and not have any social interaction. Whatever you need to do that's good for your soul will count for that prompt. And then something new. Branch out, try something that you've never done before. This could be meeting someone you've never met before for coffee. If you have like a new friend group, maybe trying a book club in the neighborhood, maybe participating in sprints. Like it could be something within the booktube community as well. Reaching out to a new booktuber, try something new. That's all this prompt is. You'll notice up at the top, I did put a this month's reads. If you guys are going to participate and do also want to read, each of your reads, so each book that you complete, you actually get to choose what shape of the Tetris blocks that you want to put in. And so each book is kind of like a free card. You would pick whichever shape helps you fill your bucket. I I hope one of these events entices you enough to participate in Bucket Listathon this year, join our community to help support each other in reaching our goals and also just enjoying life at the end of the year and trying to relax a little bit. If you are going to join, make sure and fill out that sign up sheet down below just so I know how many people are in the readathon. The graphics are in the Google Drive, the Discord is down there as well, lots of good information in the description, so make sure and check that out. If you guys are going to participate and you have a social media platform and you're going to post about it, make sure you tag me so I can see all of the end of year goals that you guys are accomplishing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have an excellent end to the year. I am very excited to get started on my bucket list.